Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope that everyone out there is doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Do not forget to leave a like on the video. I don't know. It's a free and easy way to support the channel, and it helps out the channel. Yeah. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The cryptocurrency market, as we've been told, is apparently in a brand new cycle, or the old cycle is broken, or something about money in that sort of category. A lot of news today. The cryptocurrency space continues to expand. We are seeing a lot recently. If you haven't been here, there's like a huge new rallying cry, a brand new one. There's always been a one present, but a brand new one around crypto and the idea of prices, where they're going to go, how long this current bull run is going to last. There's very little difference, or the word's not disruption. Wait, hold on, wait. Not discrepancies. Hold on, I'm going to get it. I don't remember. Everyone's agreeing with the exact same. What was I thinking? I'm going to get it in like 5 minutes, and it's going to drive me absolutely insane. The base of it is that the US dollar, the world reserve currency, is falling apart. Everyone is looking towards, or rather people with a lot of money are looking towards crypto. The idea is that we are potentially in a multi-year bull run that is going to bring trillions of dollars into our market, and basically now could potentially be one of the best times to enter the market. Pantera Capital general partner, his name is Cosmo Jiang, said investors who have missed out on the cryptocurrency wave still have a chance to get in, as most people don't own any. That's gonna annoy me for the next 20 or so years, especially when so many people have an opportunity right now. There was always, and still probably will be, a discussion for a while as if you are too late to buy crypto. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Is it too late to buy XRP? These questions are generally produced by people who aren't in the market, who kind of jump in for very quick, fast money. This is why I say the idea or the importance of going over cryptocurrency news daily is incredibly strong, because you get constant, not reaffirmation, you're constantly like in the midst of understanding that this is always taking place 24 hours a day. This isn't in August we had good news, November 1st, oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I remember January we had one thing. No, it's like every single day. So it does become it does become exhausting trying to get people to understand that they're still early and not too late. I've had friends before who've looked at prices, and I mean, this is like years ago. Bitcoin's at 37,000, and they're like, it looks too expensive. And I'm like, you can buy fragments of Bitcoin. I don't really want it. Why is that coin 600? Because it's so-and-so. 600 is a lot. Can I buy like that coin? Well, that coin's garbage. Oh, I don't like this market. And that's usually the conversations that I've had with a lot of people over the course of multiple years of having been here. The issue always ends up being that, and I'll use the W word, when prices go higher, when things get more expensive, these are the people who then go, oh man, I should have bought a couple of years ago. Guess I'm too late. And then I try and explain to them, hey, governments around the world are buying Bitcoin. Hey, you have like 300 companies who bought like $60 billion worth of Bitcoin in like 5.5 months. And they look at me dead in the face and they go, well, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, projections are showing that Bitcoin might hit $1 million in a couple of years. Wow, $1 million? It's still too expensive right now. So, not everyone can be helped. They said there's a Bank of America survey from a few weeks ago that showed more than 60% of investors still own 0% exposure. 0%. Zero. But also, and I say this nicely, that shouldn't be shocking. How many people do you know who actually have assets comparative to people who don't have any assets? And I mean the whole board. Do they have gold? Do they have silver? Are they interested in getting in stocks? Besides, wanting to buy a home with a white picket fence because it's still the 1950s. That's not like really an investment. Is like, they're trying to live there, whatever. It's not like a lot of people just don't want investments. And then you can't sit there and lie to me and say that they do, because I've watched videos before and people always say, well, I would love to be able to invest. I just don't have it. Well, that's a complete lie, because there are tons of stocks from major companies that are literally like $4.85. $12.68. Like, why aren't you buying one stock a month? I'm certain you can afford $12. I'm certain you can afford five something. Even more so, if you want to invest, you don't really have an excuse anymore, because crypto can be easily broken down into fractionalized denominations. You only have $17 this month. Well, guess what? You can buy $17 worth of that crypto. I've heard it a lot of times. People like to use the excuse of, I'm not a millionaire. I can't invest. I don't really have the money to put into the market, because they are under this. Well, I like to believe that they're under some kind of a delusion, but a lot of it is just an excuse to say that they don't want to do something. I've heard it from hundreds of people my whole life. Every time I come into contact with people, I think it's just in me. I try and talk to them, discuss something. I think it also takes people off guard a little bit. Sometimes I ask people, like, what do you want to do in life? I think people hate that. Oh, okay. Side note. A lot of times whenever I've known someone for a while, or someone I see like expressing like disinterest in their life, I'm like, well, what do you want to do? What do you mean? I'm like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. Maybe working at the same job. I'm like, do you want to be miserable in 5 years? Do you want to be miserable in 10 years? Like, is that what you're aiming for? Because buddy boy, you are definitely on the right path. If you try it. If you start asking people who have money problems, like, listen, I can help you figure out how to make money, how to set up a savings account, how to start putting $15 every single week into some kind of an investment so you can maybe see your money grow. Watch how quickly they go, I don't like the sound of that. That doesn't, I don't know. It sounds risky. Oh my gosh. That annoyed me. Anyway, sorry. I'm way off course. I had someone tell me one time, I'll never forget this. I was telling them about investing. This is like 2012. Telling them about investing, and they looked at me and they said, well, if investing is so good, why isn't everyone doing it? And I was like, no. The broke people aren't doing it. No, well, none of my friends are doing it. It took the strength of 1,000 people to hold me back from saying, yeah, all of your friends are broke, and that's why you're broke as well. You hang out with a bunch of brokies who like, you don't motivate each other. None of you have any prospects or aspects in life. Like, you don't want to be anything. You're happy just working at Burger King. Like, there's no real, you have to want something more for yourself. So 60% of people not owning crypto, I'm surprised it's not like 85%. I've met tons of people, no assets, nothing at all, and they have no desire to. And then these are the people in the documentaries who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they go, well, the government failed me. No one saved money for me. Yeah, you knew what you were doing. You know what you're doing right now. Some of you are listening to this right now. You have your arms folded. Unfold your arms. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Save your money. Start putting money away. Start investing more. Figure out what you want for the next couple of years. Like, have an aspiration. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to own? How much money do you want to have? How much property do you want to have? How much crypto would you like to own? Write it down on a piece of paper. I write my goals down. I'm a pencil and pen kind of guy. I know a lot of people just do things digitally. I write my stuff down. I write down how many properties I want to buy, how many so-and-so I want to get, how much of crypto, how much art I want to own. It's all written down somewhere. And then I go, okay, check. Okay, cool. Got that much. Check. Got that much. You have to aspire to something. He said, and it's true, that's quite a lot. And so the idea that digital assets, it's too late in the game, isn't true if most people don't own it. There's a what's that thing? It's the something curve, the adoption curve. And it literally shows that we are so early because there's so many people who are using their skepticism as like an excuse as to why they can't do something. Well, I heard Bitcoins were criminals. I remember hearing in 2017 that Bitcoin went up, but then it also went down. And it's like, wow, you and your time machine, that's exactly what happened a couple of years ago. And then they can't tell you anything recent except for the fact that the price has gone up and they don't want to buy any because it's same loop over and over. The National Cryptocurrency Association's 2025 State of Crypto Report, released back in May, found that only 1 in 5 American adults, around 21%, own at least some form of crypto. I can see that. I can see one. I would even assume it's like 15%. I think 21 is kind of optimistic, and I wonder how many people they actually got for that survey. I think 15% is kind of accurate. I want to say like 1 out of every 8 or 9 people you walk by in the street has crypto. The number's probably a lot higher for who knows about crypto, but I know a lot of people who know about crypto, but they also have no assets. On a global scale, the United Arab Emirates leads country in adoption. This was the other report that we had recently as well. For those of you who missed it, it was Singapore and the UAE. They lead in like everything, basically. Almost like one fourth of people in these countries actually own crypto, which is not surprising either. Yeah, we're still really early. It's just difficult getting people to realize, understand, or want to actually know that. The people who I've met in life, I'm not speaking for everyone, but a lot of people, they find it very easy to make excuses why they can't do something, why this isn't happening, why that won't take place. And then you talk to them 10 years later and they're in the same exact spot. And I've had a lot of people over the years, and if I run into old friends or whatever the case might be, they ask me how I'm doing, and I'll tell them like I'm great. I'm traveling. I'm going here. I just did that, and not even bragging because because the bragging could go so much further. And then they go, "Wow, you're so lucky." Nope, it's just time and dedication. It's just sitting down, focusing, figuring out how to make money, allocating that money into something. Not buying frivolous things, making sure that I invest, growing my money as much as I possibly can. When I have a certain amount of money, I buy low studio apartments. I rent them out. The money that I make from renting them out, I used to buy other assets. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Anywho, yeah, it's still early. Still early to buy crypto. Just throwing that one out there. And yeah, let's move on. Also all right, this makes a lot of sense. All the news that we've been getting lately about Ethereum. If you missed it, it's been a couple of weeks. Ethereum is touted as the future of monies. Period. That's the news that we got mainly during the summertime, and it kind of trailed onward into like September, beginning of October, where the general thought process is if all these banks and institutions are going to be creating stable coins and a whole bunch of other things with staking and DeFi and that Ethereum is going to have to take up the helm and be faster. Polygon has been the scaling solution for Ethereum for a number of years now. Polygon completely came out of nowhere and basically, like, you know, allowed Ethereum to not collapse like a neutron star into itself. And it sounds like a joke, but guess what? If you were here back in 2021, there was a thing one day, and this was like, that was the crescendo of madness because people were minting NFTs. What was it? Something for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it had something to do with like their land, like people were minting land, some kind of a metaverse thing, what have you. And the craziest part is that people were paying fees to like mint these things, but so many transactions were happening on Ethereum. The normal transaction fee was around like $2.50. That went up to like $80, 80 for one transaction to try and mint the metaverse land. Then it ended up, because there's so few transactions and everything got so halted, pushed back, delayed when it came to like processing all the transactions, people were paying over $1,000 for transaction fees. It sounds like a joke. It's not. Over $1,000. And that was kind of like the moment when people were like, all right, something's wrong here. Like this is really, 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 really bad. The worst that we had before that was in 2017 for Bitcoin transactions. I think they hit around like $33. So as you might have imagined, people were like, yeah, this isn't going too well. So Polygon popped up, and that became one of the new things. A lot of other things are on top of Polygon, which is on top of Ethereum. So as we have recently gotten more news that apparently Ethereum is supposed to, going to scale towards 100,000 transactions per second next year. This is also one of the fragments of that as well. Polygon's biggest payments-focused upgrade ever is apparently now live. It's called the Rio upgrade. Apparently, this has raised Polygon to 5,000 transactions per second. If you don't know why, and I mean, of course you understand why speed is important. The numbers are like, this is like old school crypto. The idea is that Visa and MasterCard, some of you know this, Visa and MasterCard can process roughly around 6,000 transactions per second on a centralized system. So the idea for decentralization has always been to, if you have a chain that goes over 60,000 transactions per second, you have won the game. Like, you know, congratulations, you have the high score. Like, that's always been the entire thing. So from what we can ascertain from all these upgrades in the Ethereum conversations is that apparently Ethereum, Polygon, and other layered solutions that are like the popular ones, not just random things, will either collectively be able to deal with 100,000 transactions per second, and or Ethereum itself on chain will be able to do 100,000, and then the other ones will pick up any additional slack that there would or might be, potentially dropping transaction fees to like 1 cent. I'm kind of going with the former, and I have a feeling it'll be like an amalgamation, which is totally fine. Ethereum works, what have you, but I think we're going to see 100,000 as kind of like the base point over the layer of multiple different chains at once. It has near instant finality, better reliability. It is eliminating the risks of reorganizations, lightweight nodes through stateless validation, lowering barrier to entry. Yeah, let's see what ends up happening. Polygon has always, been that coin. It's kind of taken a step back in the limelight, and that's only because of the fascination recently with all these companies buying tons of Bitcoin, Ethereum, what have you. But Polygon is usually touted as the scaling solution for Ethereum. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Good times ahead, hopefully. It's nice to see all these things finally rolling out and chains getting quicker. The only one that won't is Bitcoin, but that's just simply by mental design. Other layers will be put on top of it, and here's to hearing soon about Lightning. When was the last time we heard about Lightning Network? It's been a while. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video, everyone. I hope that you've enjoyed. Hope that you got something out of it. Hope that you're having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, evening as well, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.